Hi, everybody, and welcome to the Crossover Cinema Podcast. I'm your host, Kaya.
And I'm Carlo, and today we're talking about the fifth episode of House of the Dragons. But before we start, Kaya, do you have something you want to tell me about your week? Something a little geeky that you discovered or something?
Well, for me, it's really gaming related. I've been trying to get back to gaming just more regularly. I am a over 20-hour a week kind of gamer. And so lately I've been getting back into Stellar Blade. And I want to make a large shout out. I just started it. I didn't get to get the collectible for PS Stars because I only started it the other day. But Tales of Kenzera Zhao by a studio called Se2 Studios, led by none other than the actor on House of the Dragon, Sir Alan, who had a lot of developments this past few weeks. And so I'm loving to see that. I'm loving
everything
to see
is in everything.
There's synergy. There's synergy there. Yeah, absolutely.
I have a question, Kaya, and you're the only one who was gonna have the real answer. Well, for me, I was wondering, I saw that pass by, I checked, is there gonna be PlayStation 6 in December? Is it true?
No.
It's fake.
Yeah. No. Well, look at it like this. Generations usually span about 8 to 10 years now. So if you look at the.
But did you see those?
Yeah, people making
talking about it.
People making kind of like spec mock-ups of what they think it can be, because of course Sony's.
No. Some people are out and saying, like, seriously, PlayStation, I cannot believe you're putting out the PlayStation 6 in November. So it's not like one person. I don't know if it's a full hoax, but I was like, I need to ask Kaya, is this true? Is it gonna be?
I got you. PS6 will be arriving, but that will be. I'm looking at the year right now. 4 years from now.
Okay.
Give it 4 years, you're gonna get a PS6 in 2020.
Okay. However, so it's not true.
However, what we're looking at more likely is a PS5 Pro. So essentially, what that's going to be is a mid-generation refresh. More consistent frame rates. Probably just higher quality versions of the 4K modes they're doing, running at 60 frames. That's a day one cop for me. I can't wait to replay Spider-Man with all of the fidelity. No 40 frames anymore. Bring that thing up to 4K 60, baby. Yeah. Quality mode. Give me all the hair textures, everything. Give me all the reflections. Very much
it's
so.
Crazy it's crazy how it looks right now.
Already how it looks.
Just think about PlayStation 1 when they're with their hands like that.
And PS1
just like swinging.
PS1 has some of the most goated games, man, and also so much licensed games back in the day. You used to I'm telling you, if Game of Thrones House of the Dragon came out back in the day, you would have had a licensed PS1 game. It would have had all the sprites and the graphics. I don't know what it would have played like. But it would have been cool. It would have been cool.
It would have been really cool.
Really.
So let's dive in that episode, man.
Yes, sir.
There's not a lot happening,
it's more
in terms of more like placing stuff for the future. But
exactly.
One thing that I really, really liked about that episode, well, it's not my favorite. I have a favorite scene. Let's talk about it later. But right now, seeing all the people, seeing the peasants living and trying to push it,
navigate life.
I love that. I love to see that, and I think that they're gonna play a big role, bro.
I think 100%.
Like we say, nothing happens for nothing right now. Yeah, and then we see too much about it, and we see that they didn't give the money to those peasants.
I'll give you an example of what you mean, right?
A big role.
You're talking about the role of the everyday folk, right? Those people who are the bread and butter of the city, as a populace. But they're not respected. They're not treated well. They definitely go through it, right? Like the rat catchers being hung unjustly, save for the one. And, Aegon obviously not honoring any of his promises as he claims to, right? But I think what's really interesting is when you have a dragon, right, that is killed, paraded around a city, that is essentially... the entire populace is scared of the dragons. You just showed them that they're not invulnerable creatures, that they're not gods, that they can be felled. And it's like that not only says it's opening a clear opening for them to take over. To not necessarily take over as if governing and et cetera, but if you remember season 2 of Game of Thrones, you had that big King's Landing riot. And I think that we're looking at something akin to that kind of coming forward. I think in these either next episodes or next season. I think we're gonna see that because I think you don't show your hand the way that Team Green did, by showing Maylise's head. You know what I mean? You think that you're showing strength. We felled it, right? But at the end of the day, right, you're letting people know you can also be felled the same way. If there was enough people going at it, maybe they'll all get burned by the dragon. But if enough people stab that dragon up.
But talking about people that getting burned by the dragon, King Aegon.
Ooh-wee.
He's not dead. He's not dead. That's great. Like you were saying, he didn't have his moment. We knew he wasn't dead, but he's not strong, bro.
Oh no, he's done. He's done. Right now. His reign has ended. His watch over King's Landing.
He's not gonna wake up. He's gonna wake up. I'm sure.
He absolutely will. Absolutely.
You have to, but he's gonna wake up at one point where a decision will be made, and he's gonna fuck everything or something like that.
I don't think so. I think he's incapable now. I think do you remember how Tyrion was treated early Game of Thrones, all throughout? But because he is a little person, right? They looked at him as though he was lesser, right? And I think that with Aegon now damaged, right, and already not looked at seriously, they're just gonna go, we don't really need you. We got this guy over here, your crazy old brother, you know what I mean? And it's I kind of like that energy of Aemon just being I see an opportunity. Let me take it. And even just the one shot of Alicent and him standing and her turning to him and just seeing her other son's blade on his hip along with his. It's you traitor, and it shows the infighting even more clearly. Besides him just breathing Dracarys fire onto his brother, it's more than that. It's the play for the throne, truly. Literally watching him in the room use the misogyny of the realm and the way that world works to his advantage, to push his mother aside. That for me is my favorite scene. Watching Alicent sit there and just kind of realize, stewing in her, what's the bed she's made. She wants to associate with these people. They can do that too. They can look at you and be like, we don't really need to regard you. We know you could rule, but you're a woman and we don't like vaginas.
That scene was awesome.
Crazy.
Though. The scene that but we pushed a woman. We're not going to put a woman right there. You know what I mean?
It literally goes to show you that
but that close-up that they did with her and all the feeling that she was fuck, I'm maybe not. I didn't do maybe the right thing, man. It was perfect.
And she's just slowly disassociating more.
That was my favorite scene. I love that scene.
Right? Just the way she disassociates. It's just that slow, she's really just, separating from herself in this way that's
because it was so clear for her. She was the one who's gonna rule everything. His son is she did already for her father, you know what I mean? She
set it up in a way where it was I'll clearly take the throne because I have the most experience. I'm the oldest person here, and they're all like, no, we like the guy who breathes. We like the guy who goes on the dragon. We like him. We like him more. He lives a little crazy, but we can dig it. We can dig it.
And he's a man. That's the whole thing about it. We're not gonna put a woman after creating a war about that situation.
And that's such a central focus of the series overall for Rhaenyra, on the Team Black side. It's one of those clear things where it's we're understanding not only the misogyny she has to deal with from King's Landing how they refer to her, you know what I mean, the disgusting words they use, but moreover, it's her own council. We had a few episodes ago, they literally were we'll take over, we'll literally 25th Amendment you. How about that? And she's treason. You know what I mean? And it's I empathize with her entirely. It's no one even is willing to give you the shot. And the whole point of this entire situation is I deserve my shot. I was betrothed a spot. Give me my light. You know what I mean? And let me shine. And let me show you what I can do to better the people. You know what I mean? I wonder if I think this show is just gonna show a slow descent into a kind of I don't want to use the word madness, but just a disdain for the world, for Rhaenyra. I think we're going to slowly see her lose her humanity in that way and just go full kind of battle, tactician in a way that doesn't serve her as a human, but might serve her to win the battle if she can.
Right now, it's the conflict right now. She's not going in that rampage mode. She's not going that war zone mode.
Which is what they want.
and she wants to like keep like a kind of peace if she doesn't want to. But that's the whole arc of the character for me. So I don't think she's gonna go like that. I think she's gonna fight all along against everybody who will want a war like that. That's my guess.
I can see the angle.
And at the end, she's gonna be, "We're all together, baby."
It's gonna be messy, man. It's gonna be really messy. Not like it isn't already, but it's one of those things where like I think it's gonna get progressively more. It's like
I love how it's messy right now. Everything is messy slowly. They're all mixing stuff like. Just the fact that she went at the last episode, she went and talked to her. That was awesome.
It already spoke to, I think, what this episode now was trying to establish, that like it's over. There is no talking. There is no, delegating when it comes to this. It's going down, and like scene to scene, you can feel the tension building up, and then it carries over into the next episode because. As we're talking about this right now, we feel this kind of like, okay, yes, this episode was light, you know what I mean, on action and overall like big steps for the plot, but you had the seeds being planted for everything to move forward in that direction that you want to see. And it's like, that is the textbook thing we love and know about Game of Thrones, and the difference with this show is because of the pace. It's a little more quick, it's a little more fast, it's just that it hits harder in a way. I wouldn't say it hits better than Game of Thrones. I think Game of Thrones, when it was in its prime, had its pacing so clever, especially because it was based off of the book.
Game of Thrones has a lot of seasons,
exactly, a lot of episodes
and everything.
Absolutely,
like, got a lot of time like on our ass. So
yeah, and
right now there's only 2 seasons. Let's see what's gonna
happen. But I think that speaks to, I think by the time the show is over, when you look at all the episodes, I think you'll feel a briskness to the pace that you didn't get from Game of Thrones. Game of Thrones had a lot of time to meander and just like chill out. And like, we're these characters in our separate areas and we're not linking for seasons. You know what I mean? Whereas this is like, people are going back and forth to King's, because there's dragons and there's actual world logic to the way that they travel. And like, what was it? Rhaenyra being gone for days when she went to go see Alice, and then coming back next episode and being like, "Hey, what's up? What's good? I know I was gone. I went to go speak with the queen. What's good?" You know what I mean? Like, you kind of just, you understand that from like, it feels realistic in its own fantasy world. Yeah. It's so interesting.
And I like the fact that Rhaenyra, she's not able really to have like help from outside, you know what I mean? Like, she could right now, but she's gonna need to use that force we're talking about. That's interesting too. I like that.
I feel for her in that respect though, because I think it's easier to govern when you have all your pieces together. She just lost her right hand and she's still grieving from that, right? And at the same time, that grieving is kind of showing the hole and the wound that is open now that she needs to fill to kind of have that confidence and that advisor.
But there's no time to lose. That's the thing. So she needs to act fast. She needs to think.
But that's why I think Mysaria's role, like her, Damon's ex-team, I think her role is going to be more vocal overall. It's already starting to happen, but I think it's clear that she's going to fill in that role that Rhaenys had for Rhaenyra, but in a way that's less about the wisdom of her like age and like her lineage, more of her wisdom of the world and how things work. And I feel like that's going to benefit Rhaenyra over time. So it's like, I have some good faith that even though we lost our queen like that, a queen who never was, it's still like, there's still this understanding like, nah, we gonna bounce back. And it's nice to see Corlys and Baela sharing scenes together, because they haven't shared any scenes all season. And now I think that sequence of her indicating she does not want Driftmark, I think leaves it clear where Sir Alan and his brother will come in, because I think they're both the bastard sons of Lord Corlys. You know what I mean? Like, realistic,
for sure.
Like, realistically,
for sure. He was not there for nothing.
Nothing, right? And I think it's going to be very
that they were bastards in that in that era. So
I think that's what it's setting up.
Back and ride those dragons, bro. That's what's going to happen for sure.
None of Rhaenyra's kids should take over the role of Driftmark. They don't have the sea in them. And Baela is very clearly a dragon rider. She is a dragon woman. You know what I mean? And it's like, you add these characters like Alan and show them just ship side, and they are literally all centered on that. And so you kind of already are indicating to the viewer, let's do it. You know what I mean? Let's make these characters more focused. Let's bring them into the forefront, and let's have them come into the war in a big way. I think that's going to be really interesting to see.
And what's up with Demon, bro?
Yo, listen.
Demon.
Let's keep it a beam, bro. He on a side quest. He on a. No, I gotta specify because there's side quests.
Talk about him and his mother.
Yeah.
Like,
No, listen. That's what I'm trying to say. There's side quests, and then there's Witcher 3 side quests. Okay.
Yeah.
This is a Witcher 3 side quest level thing going on with David right now. Okay. He's out here like, listen, I gotta go here. I gotta go there. I gotta talk to every person. I gotta have literally multitudes of conversations, go through all the layers and see where we're at. Like, for example, Alice, come on, we know where it's going with that. There's that tension between them, that little sexual vibe, the little energy.
Yeah,
You're like, will they, won't they? But listen, I'm very curious to see where that goes. But
yeah, me too.
I still find that the way that she's playing with him, I don't necessarily think we're seeing everything that he's seeing is fact. I think it's very much a vision, and it's a part of the.
I think it's a complete fantasy.
But that's what I'm saying, right? It's a fantasy.
Make him like lose time, lose.
Not only that, but think about it. A lot of these characters have mommy issues, big Oedipus complexes.
Yeah, okay.
And I think that's what they're trying to indicate with Damon. Damon is already way past that point in his life where he would be using that as a main thing. Aemon and Aegon are both young, and they have that connection to their mother very close, and their mother is still alive. And I feel like if we were to see Daemon when he was younger, we would see shades of how Aemon moves. Like the way he is with the prostitute lying in the bed in the fetal position and needing to be mothered as though he's like Homelander and the boys. It's like one of those things where it's like, where do we go forward, I think, with that kind of like narrative? Like, is it going to be that Daemon is like going to need to kind of like completely disassociate to be able to come back and bounce back? I don't know. I want to see where that goes. Oh, Carlos dying over here. Them coughs is killing him. He's going, You are Queen Latifah and set it off.
We're taking a short break and
we're coming right back. All right. So
okay. So we're back. Sorry guys, a little sick, I got something in my throat.
Something.
Let's go back.
You said something. Is that what she said?
One thing is I'm really sick right now. And I'm doing a lot of stuff and I cannot be sick right now. So every time I'm coughing and stuff like that, it's stressing me right now. So let's go back.
You're like, let me drink some water.
Let's go in. Yeah.
Let me quench the thirst real quick with your boo on there. All right. So on that note, we were talking about Daemon, and Daemon for me, like the angle with his the fantasy and all that, I think is really about linking to an understanding of Aemon and Aegon, the way that they perceive their mothers and the complex that they have with them. I think we're seeing that Daemon had those same issues, and it's almost like Targaryens have these cyclical, hereditary kind of thematic issues that they deal with. And so it's really interesting to see, like, if that's the angle they're going for, how is that going to lead Daemon down the road? Like, is he going to be, like, kind of just like a shell of himself, or is he going to harden himself even more and just like shed all his humanity and just go forth on his own allegiances for himself? I'm really excited to see that. I really want to know where that's going to go. But yeah, it's really something interesting, I have to say. It's okay, buddy. Take your time.
Okay, so that's it. I think I don't know if you have something more to say about
honestly, I just really want to see if they're gonna do the riots, because I think it's clear we both know that riots are coming in some sort of way with the small folk, and I really want to see if it's gonna be a season finale kind of like event sort of thing that they're gonna do, or if it's something they're gonna bleed into next season and it's gonna spill over. And like I could see it.
There's a next season
because we're getting another season. That's confirmed. But I'll tell you one thing. If they spill it over into next season, I want it to be a 2 to 3 episode arc. I'd love it to be like the first episode builds up the tension, like kind of like the Sicario border scenes, and like just like builds it up, and then ends with it like getting right to it, and then the next episode is whoosh, we're in it, and then the third, you know how Game of Thrones does, it has to cool off after everything just happened, which is like what we just watched, and so I'm excited to see where that goes. Real talk.
Me too.
Excited. On that note, y'all, have a good one. Ciao, and see you next week.